I hope everyone can hear me clearly. We have a couple of students and parents have already joined the webinar, so I will not take much time and get straight to the webinar. So a very to all the panelists and attendees. I'm Khushi Javeri, the education consultant for Japan's higher education and the international coordinator for the University of Tokyo India office. I'll be facilitating today's webinar, and with me, I have Ms. Vaishnavi from the University of Tokyo as a facilitator. We're here for the Global Network Project of Japan's Ministry of Education, hosted by the University of Tokyo India office. We hope to encourage you to pursue your further studies in Japan. And in today's webinar, we'll give you an insight into the student life in Japan and the English medium programs offered at undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral levels. And all of these programs are offered at renowned Japanese universities, and many of these universities have been joined the webinar today. So I hope our expert panelists can help you. Please feel free to ask questions in the Q&A portal and not the chat box. All the questions in the Q&A portal will be answered. So feel free to ask anything that you want to in the Q&A portal. And panelists, please make sure to turn off your video and audio when you're not presenting. Thank you so much. We'll be sharing a few links in the chat box, so please make sure that you're saving all of these links. Thank you. Now I'll be sharing today's agenda. Please give me a minute. So now I'll be explaining the flow of today's webinar. So first we'll have an introduction by the University of Tokyo India office by Ms. Sakshi Roy, the Assistant Manager of the Tokyo India office. Then we'll have presentation on study in Japan by Ms. Vaishnavi Thakur, who has completed her master's and is pursuing her PhD in University of Tokyo. Followed by the presentation the SFC by Professor Rajit Staw from the Graduate School of Media and Governance and Mr. Sharma, a student in the Graduate School of Media and Governance. Then we'll have presentation by Kyoto University IUP by Shimazaki-san, the Senior Administrative Staff of Kyoto IUP Admissions Office, and Hattori-san, the Section Chief of Kyoto IUP Admissions Office. And lastly, we'll have presentation by Hokkaido University, the Graduate School of Engineering. The representatives are Norifumi-san, the Deputy Director of the Institute for International Collaboration, Professor Masahiro, the Graduate School of Engineering, and then Mr. Murugesh, a PhD MEC scholar from the Graduate School of Engineering, Dr. Sonia, an alumnus of the Graduate School of Engineering, and an independent structural consultant, and Hazarika-san, an alumnus of the Graduate School of Engineering, and she's currently working at Suzuki Motor Corp. So now I'd like to request Ms. Sakshi Roy to commence the webinar with a brief introduction. Over to you, Ms. Sakshi.
Thank you, Ms. Khushi, for the introduction. I'll just share my screen. I hope everyone can see my screen. So, namaste everyone. Welcome to this webinar, Study and Have a Career in Japan, Session 9. My name is Sakshi Roy, and it's my pleasure to thank all our expert panel members from prestigious Japanese universities who attended and contributed to this webinar series. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time to attend this webinar and for your continuous support. Thank you so much. Now, I'll briefly introduce our office. So we are the part of Study in Japan Global Network Project in Southwest Asia by MEX, and we provide information on Japanese university, not only the University of Tokyo, but we provide all of information about all of the Japanese universities, as this project is funded by MEX. In order to increase the awareness of higher education in Japan, we organize education fairs and seminars and these webinars throughout India. So these are all the basic parts of our office activities. All right, so as you all know, our webinar is brought to you by MEX, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology in Japan. So the main purpose of this webinar is to introduce some of the top Japanese universities. So in our online sessions, all the universities will be discussing the various program offerings and opportunities to study in Japan. Also, all of the courses, they are introducing our English-based programs and scholarship opportunities available to them. And also, it's a very huge opportunity for all of you to, know about their programs and of offerings, and you can directly interact with each university representative in the Q&A box. So I would ask all of you to please listen carefully and please feel free to ask your questions to our university representative in the Q&A box. So just a brief idea about the number of higher education institutions in Japan. So in Japan, there has been approximately 700 plus universities as well as specialized vocational institutions. So moreover, Japan is consistently ranked among top 10 countries for education, and some of the Japanese universities have been ranked among top 500 universities in the world. So therefore, you learn from some of the finest minds in the world and work in some of the most modern labs if you consider studying in Japan. And also you can learn Japanese while studying, as there are so many universities offering preparatory Japanese language courses for their students, international students. So this is the email address of our office. In case if you have any questions later after attending the webinar, please do not hesitate to contact us. We'll be very happy to help you with your queries, and we'll also share this email in the chat box for your reference. So thank you very much. Furthermore, we are also available on social media platforms. So stay engaged by following our Facebook and Instagram pages, and please make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel. Our social media platform offers the latest updates on study in Japan webinars alongside relevant information. And also, we have noticed a growing interest among students to access our past webinar recordings. So you can access them readily available on our YouTube channel. So just check the recordings of our previous webinars and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And it would be very grateful if you can support us by liking and sharing our YouTube videos. So thank you very much for your attention. That's all from my side today. I request all of you to please stay tuned with us till the end of the session. And I hope this webinar will be valuable and fruitful to every one of you. Thank you very much.
Sakshi for the introduction. And I will also be sharing the links of the University of Tokyo in the office, the social media links in the chat box. So please make sure that you're saving all of these links when you put in the chat box. Thank you very much. So now we'll have a presentation by Ms. Vaishnavi Thakur from the University of Tokyo, and she will be giving us insight into her experience in Japan. So over to you, Ms. Vaishnavi.
Thank you, Ms. Khushi. Let me share my screen. I hope it is visible. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and thank you for joining us in today's webinar. So today I'll be sharing about my experience and general information about studying in Japan. So starting with a brief background, I'm Vaishnavi Thakur. I'm currently a doctoral student in the Graduate School of Engineering. I graduated from Masters in the University of Tokyo, and I'm continuing into my PhD program. And today's presentation, I'd like to cover about why did I choose Japan and how is the education in Japan and what is the cost of studying, and also various scholarships through which you can fund your living expenses and the tuition fees, and also the general application process. So let's begin with why Japan. So why did I choose Japan? It is very well-known fact that Japanese universities are very well-known for their world-class research. So there is no hesitation over there. And besides this, we also know that Japan is ranked, it's consistently ranks top among the safest countries in the world. So there's very low crime rate, and it has a very peaceful and secure environment, especially for students. So even when you stay late in the lab and work, you need not worry about how we'll get back home or to the dormitory. So the spaces are very safe for everyone. And when we go to the public transportation, it is very reliable. Many people here actually rely on the public transportation, so it is very safe and convenient. And the another factor which usually these parents and students worry about is health. So what if you fall sick? What happens? What are the expenses? So there's an excellent national health insurance policy where it covers almost 70% of your health expenses. And if you're a government-sponsored student, then the remaining 30% is also covered by the university. And besides this, there are also other insurance options where the universities will cover the remaining 30%. So even in this case, in case when we fall sick and get hospitalized, we need not worry about the medical expenses as well. I would say these are some of the salient features of studying in Japan, besides the world-class research facilities it has. So moving on to education in Japan. So let me mention about how the university system in Japan is. So the universities in Japan are classified as public, private, and national universities. So they have equal reputation. I mean, they're equally good for the education. The only difference is in their fee structure. So, and there are wide range of academic exchanges which are offered by the university. So even though you come here as a student studying abroad, so you can also participate in the academic exchange programs and avail the opportunities which the universities provide. And another thing I would like to specify here is that the admission process into Japanese university is mostly university centered. So how is it different from admission process in India? So in India, we need to give national and state level entrance exams like IIT and NEET and so on. But whereas here, the admission process in the universities lies with the university. So if you in India, if we give one entrance exam, so we can that is enough for many universities. But in this case, it is we need to apply to the university separately and get acceptance from the universities because the decision lies with the university. So this is one difference about the universities in India and Japan. And when we look at the some of the common misconceptions we have about universities in Japan is the language. So because its national language is Japanese, how are the English-based programs? So do they have any English-based programs or not? So they have plenty of English taught programs, like because I'm studying, Kushi-san is studying, and there are so many international students studying here. So there are many English taught programs in various universities. And besides that, in order to get on with everyday life, it is definitely very helpful if we have Japanese language proficiency. So we have many universities provide the Japanese language classes as well. So when we first join the university, there's a provision of providing a tutor so that so that the tutor will help us to get on with our everyday life, our everyday life for starting few months. So besides this, there are also, like I mentioned, language support programs and also exchange programs and activities which are organized by the every municipal office. So there are so many opportunities for us to learn Japanese when we come here. And besides this, for the coursework, there are English-based programs as well. So this is about universities in Japan and the languages here. Now, when we look into the accommodation options for the students, so I receive many requests saying that, like in case like what happens if we don't get university dormitories. So university dormitories is a very safe option which are offered by the universities. But in case we did not get a university dormitory allocated, so we need not worry because there are so many private dormitories and shared houses and also off-campus apartments. So if you receive a scholarship or if you're a self-funded student, you can still afford them and have these accommodation options outside the university as well. Now about the other factor for which people are a little hesitant about Japan is the food option. So if you are a vegetarian, will I be able to manage living in Japan? Yes, there are so many vegetarians living in Japan. In fact, I have tried to be a vegetarian and like tried to be a vegan for a few months, and I think it was not very difficult. In the beginning, when you are new, you might face it a little difficult, but when you get on to know all the various options you have and the restaurants and the vegetarian food options, so it's not at all difficult to manage with food in India. But it's not at all difficult to manage vegetarian food in Japan. And besides vegetarian food, also Japanese cuisine is very rich and diverse. So you can also try that. And there are so many Indian food options in the restaurants or even in the university cafeteria, you have vegetarian options. So you also, because you came to another country, you also get to explore different new tastes and culinary experiences. So I would highly recommend you all to try various cuisines as much as you can. So now let's talk about figures. So let's look into what is the cost of studying and like living expenses. So this is just for the general information. It may vary from university to university and from the place to live. Like from in where I live in Tokyo, these are the usual expenses which occur. So these are just like I would like to emphasize again that these are the general expenses based on my experience. So how do we fund these expenses? So besides, there are so many scholarships available. Like I think everyone attending this must be aware of the MEX scholarship, that is a government, national government scholarship. And besides MEX, there's JASO scholarship. There's JASO scholarship for even long-term and short-term. So if you are a student who is looking for short-term exchange programs, you can target this scholarship as well. And there's plenty of local government scholarships, university scholarships. And besides this, there are many private scholarships as well. So look into scholarship options from like various sources, because even companies here, for example, Panasonic provides scholarship for the students studying here. So there are plenty of scholarships available, and I would say this is one of the advantages that Japan has when we compare it to the other Western and Eastern countries. So I hope you make you make avail of these scholarships. And when we look into the application process, again, this is a general application process which a graduate student has to go through. So first, like, know your understand your research area, the field you are interested in, and then go through various labs in the university and contact the professor. So this is also one of the common requests I receive, that how to contact a supervisor. So before contacting a supervisor, have a genuine interest in the work, and like thoroughly read his papers, like the previous research papers or the papers which are published from his lab. So even if you have some general idea about it, with that, contact the professor, like mention your research interest and what research you would like to do along with your CV. And then based on that, and based on your department, your program requirements, or you might have an entrance exam, or you might have an interview, so you can follow that process. So this step is very critical. So once you get an acceptance from the professor, then the rest of the steps are just the formalities which you have to do. So this step is very critical. So try to be careful in this step, and then like follow the rest of the process, and then you'll get on with it. So this is about the general information about studying in Japan, the living expenses, the scholarships, and the application process in general. So with this, I would like to give a brief overview about how life in Japan is. So there is University of Tokyo Indian Students Association. So there are so many Indian Students Associations and Indian community here. You'll not be, even though you're far from home, you have home in Japan. So I need not say about the beauty of the landscapes in Japan. So the food, landscapes, everything is so mesmerizing. So it doesn't matter how much I say it is beautiful. So I would like every one of you to come here and witness it for yourself. So I hope this presentation was useful, and let me know if you have any questions in the Q&A portal. I would like to answer them. Thank you once again for giving this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Vaishnavi-san, for the very insightful presentation. A few things that are very important, especially when students are deciding to come to Japan for higher studies. So students, feel free to ask questions to Vaishnavi-san in the Q&A portal, and I'm sure she can give you insights not only into the student life in Japan, but even the scholarship opportunities that are there for international students in Japan. So thank you so much for the presentation. And I'll reshare the agenda slide. I hope everyone can see my screen. So to get into the presentation for the university, I would like to request all the attendees to register for upcoming webinars and also look into these profiles to learn more about Japan's education. So feel free to scan them at any time. And now we have a presentation by Keio University. So before we get into the presentation, I'll talk a little about the university itself. So Keio University is an eminent private university in Japan, founded by Yukichi Fukuzawa, a notable public figure often founded in the 10,000 yen banknote in Japan. Keio University is a world-class research institution with undergraduate and graduate programs in many disciplines. It has several international partners and is also home to many notable alumni, including CEOs and prime ministers. So now I'd like to request Professor Rajiv Shaw and Mr. Sharma to give us an insight into the university. Over to you.
Thank you, Kushim. Can you please allow me to share my screen? Yeah, thank you. Hope you can see it. And thank you very much. And welcome to the presentation of Keio University. My name is Rajiv Shaw. Actually, I am now in the field outside Japan and not in a very good internet connectivity. So please allow me to switch off my video so that you listen to my voice better. Khushi, hope the voice is okay.
Yes, Sensei, it's perfect.
Okay, Keio University was formed in 1858. It's the oldest Japanese formal higher education institute. Today, I would like to cover some of these issues. I will talk in general of Keio University about our campus, the GIGA program, which is the undergraduate English program, our graduate school, and a little bit on the admission scholarships and so on. So Keio University, we have 6 campuses around in and around Tokyo. Our headquarters is in Mita, where mainly the humanities and sciences. I belong to this SFC, which is the Sonan Fujisawa campus, which is around 85 kilometers away from Tokyo in the prefecture in Kanagawa. And there are other campuses in Yokohama, Yagami, Shinanomachi, and Shibakyoritsu. So yes, Khushi also mentioned this one. You will see our founder's photo in this 10,000 yen Japanese note currency. And it was founded in 1858 as the first private institutions of higher learning in Japan. We have 10 undergraduate faculties and 14 graduate school. And it covers a wide range of topics, starting from humanities, social science, economics, business, commerce, law, science, technology. We have a medical school also, pharmacy, as well as nursing. So it's a very, very comprehensive education, higher education institute, you can say. About the statistics, we have close to 33,500 students, 2,000 plus international student, and 2,700 faculty member. So our usual faculty and teachers, the student ratio is 1:12, which is actually a very good number. And 33,000, you can imagine about the Japan's population. So I think it's one of the largest universities in Japan. A few more achievements, like it ranked first among the private universities in Japan and the QS World University ranking in consecutive years. Then we are 48th on the graduate employability. So I think the graduate students, their rate of employment, so it's quite high, I will say. And we have different collaboration among different institutions. We have joint program, double degree programs, and so on. Globally, in US, in different parts of Asia, in Europe, and of course in India as well. So this campus is the Sonan Fujisawa campus. It was established 33 years back in 1990 to train the students who can resolve complex social problems. And this is very, very important thing. Like it is our main target was to address the social problem, but with integrating technology, science, design, and policy. So this was the first undergraduate course we started on the policy studies in Japan. And also this graduate school, which I belong to, media and governance. It's a cross-cutting graduate school over different disciplines. So one of our major approach has been that problem finding and solving. We have a very wide range of research field. Interdisciplinary education is possibly the main strength, which I would like to pitch on. And also the seminar. So we have a very flexible seminar system starting from the first year. So the student can, even undergraduate, you can actually join a research group and try to have a co-learning among other students and so on. And we always boast on this one that our curriculum is a stable curriculum. So it will be you, the students, to draw your own curriculum based on the guidance. Of course, there will be mentorship, but it's based on your interest and your expertise, which we often think that it is change when you go from first year to second year to third year to fourth year and so on, and also in the graduate school. So I think the flexibility in the curriculum is a major issue. So as I mentioned, that Kenkyu Kai, what we call in Japanese, which is the seminar. So you can start from the first year that actually provides you to deepen your knowledge. And also there are a few fundamental subjects which you need to take, which is actually quite cross-cutting. And then the interesting part is also that you have a graduation project, which is usually in the 4th year. In 2 semesters, you do the graduation project 1 and 2. And this is we have also an integrated 5-year graduate program. So 4-year undergraduate and 1 year postgraduates. That's the integrated part. And there you also need to do a thesis. So there are one option of doing a 4-year undergraduate. Another option is a 5-year integrated undergraduate and graduate program. And then, of course, there are regular graduate programs, which are usually 2 years. This particular program, GIGA program, what we call the Global Information and Governance Academic Program. So this is an English-only program for undergraduate. And we have these twin faculties, which are the undergraduate faculties. One is on policy, one is on environment and information. And the students are very flexibly take different classes, seminars, joint research between these two faculty. And they get the bachelor program. So just to give you some example, like we have in the Faculty of Environment and Information Studies, we have very cutting edge research, where starting from the novel computing to quantum computing, advanced bioscience, environmental design, engineering, and media art. But on the policy studies, we have social innovation, we have policy design, international strategy, business administration, urban and regional strategy, and so on. And as you can possibly understand that when we talk about a problem solving, it needs the interchange, or it needs lots of synergies among different disciplines. About the graduate program, so this is called the Media and Governance, and we have, it's also a full English program. So we have 8 what we call the research field, and I belong to the environmental design and governance, which is EG, and you can see that there are quite a bit of interesting research topic or research field, starting from cyber informatics to system biology, then biophysical skills, social innovations, and so on. 4 years back, we established this India-Japan laboratory. You can see more about this in the indiajapanlab.org. And we have tried to actually foster the collaboration between different Indian universities, IITs, IIM, Indian Institute of Science, and also many other universities like JNU, Madras University, Indraprastha University, and so on. So both the public and private universities in India, apart from IIT, IIM, IISc, and NIT. We have 3 major pillars here, one on the environment, disaster, economics, climate change, social innovation. That's where I work on. Then there are lots of focus on the existing new and emerging technologies. And then there is another part which is more on the humanities, culture, yoga, music, flame, religion, and language. About my own field, my research field is the laboratory called the Global Resilience Innovation Laboratory. Well, I also came as a student in Japan 29 years back. I came in 1994. I was born in Kolkata in India. I did my PhD here and then worked in the private consulting firm, United Nations. I worked as a professor in Kyoto University, and then from 2017 onward, I am in KO. And we do different types of resilience-related work on the climate change adaptation, disaster risk, then innovations, different disruptive technologies in disaster risk reduction, and so on. We have several students actually from India in my lab, both undergraduate, masters, as well as PhD. When you talk about how to enter into KO University, so we don't have any written test. We don't do any specific interview. It's mostly the online application. So you need to prepare a good portfolio about yourself. And there are usually 3 minutes video that to promote yourself, what are the skills you have, what are the learning methods you want to do, what is your future aspiration. So based on that, we do the judgment. So that's very, rather, I will say, a very overseas student-friendly admission application where you don't need to come and appear in the entrance examination. Our annual tuition fee for undergraduate, it's around 12,500 US dollar. And this gives a comparison about the tuition cost and the living cost in different countries. So if you see the private universities in US and public universities in US, the school fees are extremely high. Even in Australia, Singapore, it is quite high. So ours is quite even lower than any public universities in UK also. So if you compare US, UK, Australia, Singapore, those which are the most popular destination among the Indian students, I think as per the tuition fee is concerned is very, very low. Our previous speaker, our PhD student from Tokyo University, has pointed out also the living cost. So it all depends on which type of living environment you want to have. And depending on the nature of the campus in KO, the living cost actually varies. If it is near Tokyo, this is relatively higher, but in my campus, which is the SFC Sonan Fujisawa, this is relatively cheaper, especially the accommodation is relatively cheaper compared to that of Tokyo. The scholarships, again, it's possibly a repetition of what was told earlier. So we have different types of scholarship in KO University. Of course, MEXT is one of the most popular. I'm talking about the undergraduate one. Scholarship for men focuses on, it gives the fees, admission fees, as well as academic fees up to 4 years. And then Masata, the Kobayashi scholarship, which gives 1 million Japanese yen up to 4 years. So these are the undergraduate, and you can actually get that before enrollment. And then there are graduate scholarships, again, mixed. Design the Future Award, which covers the living cost, academic fees. Then there is GAO scholarship, which provides the academic fees. That's very specifically for the masters, and the research encouragement fund, which is around 300,000 Japanese yen, and that is again for the masters. And these are also you can get before enrollment. After enrollment, again, there are more options of scholarship for all the international students, whether it is undergraduate and graduate. So we have also mixed scholarship, the university recommendation, just so, and various other award-winning entities and so on. Accommodation, we have dormitory in Sonan Fujisawa. We have also international dormitory I'm talking about in our campus. And there is a very newly established, this was opened actually this year, is the newest dormitory, which we call the Ita Village. This is on-campus housing. It's a very fancy new dormitory we have. And later we will hear from our students. So let me stop here for the time being, and over to you, Sambanbhai. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Rajiv Sensei. And thank you, Ms. Kushi. I hope you all can see and hear me. I'll take over from Professor Shaw's presentation here. And since we have a time limit, I will try to keep it very, very brief. So hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Samanbhai Sharma. I am an international student from India, currently studying at Keio University Shonan Fujisawa campus. And I will be focusing my presentation mostly based on my personal experiences and a few things that I would like to highlight for you to consider when you are considering application or a study in Japan as a potential destination. So a very brief background about myself. I am currently a master's program student with the Cyber Informatics program at the Graduate School of Media and Governance at Keio University Shonan Fujisawa campus. It's the same as Professor Shaw's. I'm currently doing research in the field of quantum computing with the Advancing Quantum Architecture group. There I am working on uh, developing algorithms and applications for quantum computers to solve um, issues and problems that will affect most of us on a societal scale. And in addition to that, I'm also working on building community and educational resources. So if you are interested in tackling some complex problems and would like to take and if you have any interest in those sciences and would be interested to consider taking that challenge, I strongly recommend checking out the group and its details. And in addition to that, the graduate school website as well. So I'll move on to the section of extracurricular activities, especially the ones that I have had experience with, and to just sort of illustrate the diversity of events and the diversity of experiences that you can experience as an international student in Japan and at KO. So one of the things that international students would immediately have access to would be that they would be reached out from KO Welcome Net, which is a volunteer organization that supports the stay of international students by organizing local events. So this is a group that is run by an alumni association of KO, and it not only involves the SFC campus, but also you would get to interact with people and students from all other campuses of KO as well. And it is a great way to learn about the lifestyle in Japan and experience language, culture, activities, and make new friends. So I think this is a really nice way to experience Japan and experience student life. And speaking of student life, there's also a lot of student groups and clubs here. Um, there is a lot of scope for developing your other faculties and experience a lot of other extracurricular activities outside of academia. So with the availability of student groups and athletic groups and organizations dedicated for students, it's a great way for self-development. And finally, we also have student festivals here, which are run every semester, which involve a lot of fun events, snacks, performances, fireworks, and most of these are run entirely by student groups. So not only can you enjoy them as a student, but you can also be a part of them. Uh, Quick note on scholarships: you can apply to scholarships before and after admission, and you can take a look at the International Center website for details. I will quickly move on to the point of why to choose Japan. I'm sure you all know a lot about this because you're attending this session, but it's a great hub for science, arts, and culture and their integration. The quality of life standard is really high. As you've seen in previous comments and slides, they provide a better education for relatively better tuition costs, and so on and so forth. Just a really positive environment for growth and development. And why I choose KOSFC? It's a great campus. It has really nice people. The international student community support is really notable. You can always get support even before admission from the admissions office. And once you come here, you will receive a lot of support with the international students section at the student affair office. And there's a lot of flexible research opportunities and programs. There's collaborations with academia and industry, and there's a lot of exchange opportunities with many notable universities outside of Japan as well. And that should conclude my presentation. If you have any questions, please let me know in the chat right now, or you can also reach out to the email given below and directly contact KU University. And that should be all.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rajat Shaw and Mr. Sharma, for such detailed and comprehensive presentations. I'm sure students have gotten valuable insights from your presentations. So thank you very much. And there are a couple of questions in the Q&A portal. As we're running out of time, I'll just select two or three questions. So starting with, is it mandatory for students to pursue a graduate major? For example, if a student has done an undergrad major in computer science and they want to go ahead and pursue a grad major in business, is that possible at Keele University?
I guess I can take that question quickly. From based on my experience, it's the nature of admissions and uh, association is really, really interdisciplinary. So it doesn't matter even if you have like a slightly different background, as long as you have uh, uh, enough enthusiasm for it and you can demonstrate some capability of success in that field, it should be perfectly all right. You can completely transition from tech to a business and vice versa.
Perfect. Thank you so much. There are a couple of questions on the expenditure. So when an international student comes to Japan, monthly, how much they usually spend when it comes to rent or the cost of living, food, etc. Do you kind of give us an insight into the expenditure on a monthly basis?
I'll be very brief here. It's very subjective because it depends upon the needs of each individual student. But I would recommend, from my personal experience, like an average of about maybe 100,000 yen is like a good estimate, but it's certainly not an exact figure, and it's definitely subjective based on each student's needs. I'd say definitely consider the tuition costs and wherever you are applying to stay, and then I think it's a good idea to see the facilities around you nearby and consider things like cost of travel and similar things. So it's very subjective.
Okay. Two very quick questions. First, is there a master's degree in data science at Kyoto University?
I'm sorry, is that about data science as a major?
Yes.
So I believe data science as a topic might be with a different school, maybe not an SFC. However, you can still pursue data science subjects and still pursue opportunities in data science with SFC. I may be, in case I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me if there are other members of K University here. But yeah, that's been my experience so far. It's highly interdisciplinary, so you can do a lot of things even if you're pursuing uh one kind of degree. So it's perfectly fine.
Thank you so much. And I think there are still a few questions about Kyoto University, so you could go ahead and answer them in the Q&A.
I can just go ahead in the chat and take a look.
Yeah, perfect. But as Mr. Sharma just mentioned that, and as a graduate from Kyoto University SFC, the courses out here are very interdisciplinary. So, for example, you can explore and try different fields out. You can study CS while even learning about business or architecture. So they have a very holistic approach to education and learning. So students who are very flexible when it comes to learning, they want to try and explore their interests, I would highly recommend you to apply to KU University. So I hope students apply to KU University and the application period for undergraduate students start in December. So please make sure that you apply to the university as soon as possible. So thank you so much, Rajiv Sensei and Mr. Sharma for the presentation. We will proceed with the next presentation. I'll just share my screen. All right then. So now we have a presentation by Kyoto University IUP. So Kyoto University is one of the oldest and the most prestigious national universities in Japan. It was selected as a top type university for the top global university project by the Japanese government. It has generated several distinguished prime ministers, Nobel laureates, and world-class researchers. It has also opened doors for international students to pursue a career at multinational companies in Japan and the overseas. So now I'd like to request Shimazaki-san to proceed with his presentation.
Okay. Let me share the slides first. All right. Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We are from Kyoto University's Kyoto IAF Admissions Office. Today we are going to talk about Kyoto University and our scholarship program for international undergraduate students called Kyoto IAP. We pronounce Kyoto IUP as Kyoto IAP. So please stay with us until the end. Okay, so this is an overview of our presentation. It is divided into 3 parts. First, we'd like to introduce Kyoto City, where Kyoto University is located. After that, we are going to talk about why you should choose to study at Kyoto University, focusing on its features and strengths. Lastly, we will provide details about the Kyoto IAP program, including the overview of the program, the benefits of the program, how to apply, and so on. We'll talk to you for about 20 minutes. Now let's get started. To begin with, let's take a look at Kyoto City, where Kyoto University is located. Kyoto University is located in the central part of Kyoto City. But do you know where Kyoto is? Well, Kyoto is located directly north of Osaka and far to the west of Tokyo, the capital of Japan. It takes roughly 2 hours to travel from Tokyo to Kyoto by bullet train, Shinkansen. Kyoto City is an ideal place for study and research for 3 main reasons. The first is Kyoto is a historical and cultural city. It has many historical sites, traditional rituals, and festivals. In Kyoto, there are more than 2,000 temples and shrines, including 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. You can see the beauty of its traditions everywhere. So Kyoto is the best place to feel and learn about the history and culture of Japan. The second reason is Kyoto is widely recognized as a highly innovative city. For example, I imagine you know about Super Mario, or you already watched the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I also expect you know about Pikachu in Pokemon, and a video game called Animal Crossing. These are produced by Nintendo, and it might surprise you know, its headquarters are in Kyoto. In addition to Nintendo, Kyoto is home to many world-renowned companies such as Kyocera, Omron, Rome, Kyoto Animation, and so forth. So as we can see, Kyoto City is well known as a city in which ancient culture and tradition coexist side by side with innovative technology. The third reason is Kyoto is a true university town. The rich and unique cultural background of Kyoto City has brought over 30 universities to Kyoto, which makes it a true university town. Actually, it is estimated that about 10% of the population are college or university students. So as there are so many universities in Kyoto, as well as all around the world, why you should choose Kyoto University? The first reason is, it is one of the best universities in Asia and ranked highly in various world university rankings, as you can see from the figures here. So why does Kyoto University rank highly in the world rankings? What are the reasons? It is largely because Kyoto University is a research-oriented university. Kyoto University, or KU for short, has traditionally focused on research and has always been a leading university in Japan. It has 10 faculties or undergraduate schools, 18 graduate schools, and 39 research institutes. So the university is truly comprehensive and is strong in diverse research fields. These qualities have produced many award-winning researchers. Now, take a look at these 11 illustrious researchers. In fact, KU has the largest number of Nobel Prize recipients among all Asian universities. In addition, looking at the number of Nobel laureates from 2001 to 2020 by country, Japan has the second highest number. Don't forget about these researchers either. We also have recipients of the Fields Medal, Gauss Medal, and Schur Medal. 2 out of 3 Japanese Fields medalists are from KU. And among all 5 recipients of the Gauss Medal, the only Japanese national is Dr. Ito, and he is from KU. Likewise, out of all 4 Schur medalists, Dr. Kashiwara is the only Japanese national, and he is from KU. There's no Nobel Prize for mathematics, but these are the most prestigious awards, and they are generally recognized as a Nobel Prize for mathematicians. Following in the footsteps of those prominent researchers, many talented students from all over the world are studying at Kyoto University. As we can see from the pie charts here, we have more than 22,600 students, including about 3,000 international students from about 110 countries. Just for your information, there are 34 students from India in total at our university. In Kyoto IAP program particular, we will welcome a student from India for the first time this October. So we are looking forward to meeting the student. Well, this international environment enables students to broaden their horizons. At Kyoto University, we provide students with diverse academic opportunities. As we said, the university has 10 undergraduate faculties and 18 graduate schools. I will talk about Kyoto IAP in my presentation, but there are other ways to study at Kyoto University besides the Kyoto IAP. Especially if you are interested in graduate schools, please visit this website called Study at Kyoto U. Anyway, in short, KU is a research-oriented, comprehensive university with many schools and research institutes. We have prominent researchers and talented students from all over the world. These features have led to its high position in various world university rankings. All right, now I will move on to the most important part, the introduction of our unique scholarship program for international undergraduate students called Kyoto IAP. So what is the Kyoto IAP? If I summarize the features of Kyoto IAP, Kyoto IAP is a 4.5-year program. Japanese language proficiency is not required at the outset. You can choose your faculty according to your academic interests at the time of application. This program provides comprehensive financial support, including a monthly scholarship stipend. Let's take a closer look at each feature. This is the curriculum of the program. It consists of a 6-month preparatory course and 4-year undergraduate course. Let me explain each part of the course in detail. The 6-month preparatory course begins in October and helps students prepare for the undergraduate course. Although we do not require any Japanese language proficiency at the time of application, as students will be required to have an advanced level of Japanese language proficiency during the undergraduate course, the preparatory course provides intensive Japanese language classes. Also, in order to bridge the gap between each student's local educational curriculum and the Japanese one, We provide students with some pre-foundation classes in certain natural sciences and social sciences subjects in English. After you complete the preparatory course and pass the required examinations called qualifying tests, you will be able to go on to the undergraduate course. Traditionally, KU values a liberal arts education. So in the first and second years, you will study liberal arts mainly in English. About 400 courses are offered in English, and you can choose classes from all major fields. As for the Japanese language classes, you'll gradually move on to higher level classes, and by doing so, you will be able to take more liberal arts subjects provided in Japanese. In the third and fourth years, students focus on specialized subjects in their chosen majors. At this point, Kyoto IAP students are required to follow the same major curriculum as Japanese students, so the classes are taught mainly in Japanese, and discussions and assignments are also conducted in Japanese. By the time of graduation, therefore, students are expected to have acquired an academic level of Japanese proficiency. Students can choose a faculty that suits their own interests from among these 8 faculties. The good news is, the Faculty of Pharmaceutical Sciences is going to join the Kyoto IAP program from the October 2024 enrollment. So please note that the faculties of Letters and Medicine do not participate in the program at this moment. Students who successfully completed the undergraduate course are awarded a bachelor's degree. Furthermore, students who want to enroll in the faculties of Science, Engineering, or Agriculture have wide choice of departments to choose from. Our website provides detailed information about what you can study in each faculty and department. So please visit the website and check the page titled Majors and Areas of Study. And just for your information, the Faculty of Engineering has a 4-year English taught program called the International Course Program of Civil Engineering, ICP. So if you are interested in that program, please check their website for more information. Here, I'd like to share some data about the careers that international students at KU pursue after graduation. The chart on the left shows the career paths of humanities students after graduation. And the chart on the right shows the career paths of science students after graduation. As you can see, most of the students are likely to stay in Japan after they graduate. Most science students go on to a graduate school in Japan, and many humanities students find employment in Japan. After graduation, some international students are employed by large, well-known Japanese companies such as Hitachi, SoftBank, or Rakuten. Others work for foreign affiliated companies such as Goldman Sachs Japan and Deloitte Tohmatsu Consulting Japan. Kyoto IAP students have a great advantage because they can speak Japanese in addition to their own language and English. Thoroughly mastering a new language is always challenging and will take a lot of work, but we believe it will greatly expand your future possibilities and potential. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the financial support, which I presume many of you are curious about. This slide shows how much the initial 6 months preparatory course usually costs. However, if you are enrolled in Kyoto IAP, you will receive a full waiver of the admission and tuition fees. This means that for the first 6 months, you only have to pay the application fee. which is about 69 US dollars. And these are the fees for the 4 years of the undergraduate course. Usually, the admission fee is about 1,976 US dollars, but Kyoto IAP students do not have to pay anything. The annual tuition is about 3,755 US dollars, but Kyoto IAP students get full or partial waivers. The amount of the exemption will be based on your academic performance. Moreover, every IAP student has a chance to be awarded our merit-based scholarship. The amount of the scholarship depends on your academic results, but the full amount is 120,000 Japanese yen per month. It will be provided as a living allowance for up to 4.5 years through the whole program. So far, all IAP students have obtained this scholarship. The average living expenses of undergraduate students at Kyoto University is 90,000 Japanese yen per month. 90,000 Japanese yen per month. So the scholarship is easily enough for student life in Kyoto City. To summarize, if you receive all the financial support provided by the university, all you need to pay is about 188 US dollars, which is the total amount of the application fee for the preparatory course and undergraduate course. Regarding accommodation, Kyoto IAP students can live in one of the university's dormitories. For example, the Hyakumanben International House is available for the first 2 years. All students have their own private furnished room and share the kitchen, laundry, shower rooms, and toilets. You can enjoy cooking and talking with your friends in the dining room. Perhaps you are worried about whether you can keep up with your classes, or you might be worried about the life in Japan. There's no need to worry, as various kinds of support are available on campus. For example, support from tutors, and the support from teaching assistants, and professional advice from International Student Advising Office. Events and workshops at the Student Lounge Kizuna enable students to enjoy international exchange and make new friends. Students also receive support from the Kyoto IAP faculty and staff members, and senior students are always ready to help you. Now let me explain application process. First, you have to submit an application through the online application system between November 1st and December 4th. Then we will make the admission offer on April 5th. The number of places available is 25. That is the total number of successful applicants from all over the world. We have released the application guidelines for the October 2024 enrollment, so please check the guidelines for more information. Before applying for Kyoto IAP, please confirm that you are eligible by checking the eligibility requirements in the application guidelines. Next, be sure to pay the application fee by credit card and prepare the application documents. And these documents are especially important. First, your passport or photo ID, your high school transcript, a certificate of expected graduation, an evaluation form, which you ask your teachers to fill out, the result of an English proficiency test, such as TOEFL and IELTS. Native speakers of English can submit Form C instead. The result of a standardized test, such as the SAT, EJU, ACT, and so on. Please refer to the application guidelines for details. And do not forget to show your motivation in the essay, okay? For further details, please visit the Kyoto IAP website and check the latest updates as well as the application guidelines on the How to Apply page. You can download the application guidelines for the October 2024 enrollment there. An FAQ is also available on the website. All right, that brings me to the end of our presentation. We hope you have become interested in studying at Kyoto University and applying for Kyoto IAP. We hope to see you here in Kyoto in the near future. Also, don't forget to follow our official Instagram and YouTube channel. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your attention. See you.
Thank you so much, Masaki-san, for the
Thank you.
detailed presentation. I'm sure students are very interested in Kyoto IUP and they really want to know about the requirements at IUP. So I'll just pick up a few questions and ask you if that's all right.
Okay, fine.
So first question is, what are the requirements to apply to Kyoto IUP? Is that requirement, is there a minimum score? Is IELTS required? Could you give us a little insight into that?
Yeah, sure. Just a moment. Sorry, wrong one. I'd like to share the application guidelines for your reference. So I'll show you the relevant page. So if you go to the application guidelines for October 2024 enrollment, there is a page called application documents on page 15 to 17. So as Kushi-san said, you need to submit the result of standardized test. And this is a list of acceptable standardized tests. So we accept SAT, SAT, EJU, ACT, and GCE A-level, and IB, International Baccalaureate, and AP as well. So if you are interested in applying to Kyoto IAP, you definitely need to submit the result of one of the standardized test results. And for other application documents, you can refer to the page 9 to 11. There are several documents you need to submit as well, so please refer to the application guidelines for more details because we put all the information here, okay?
Thank you very much for answering this. I'll proceed to the next question.
Mhm.
Is EJU required to apply to Kyoto IUP?
Yes, as I said, EJU is acceptable as one of the standardized test results, but as I said, again, EJU is not the only option. You can submit one or more standardized tests to us. So like SAT, AP, IB, it's all acceptable. So you can refer to the application guidelines for more details, what standardized test is acceptable. So yeah, so standardized test
Thank you.
result is compulsory.
Then I would like to what are the subjects that international students learn in IUP?
Sorry, so the sound is a little bit
I'm sorry,
no.
my internet. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. So could you repeat the question?
Shimazaki-san, is my internet okay? Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So a couple of students want to know how is the curriculum like in IUP? What are the subjects that they have?
Okay, good. It's a little bit complicated, so I don't explain here, but you can see the information on our website called curriculum page of the website. So my colleagues will share the link in the chat box, okay?
Okay, all right. I think there's still a couple of questions in the Q&A portal, so I'd really appreciate if you could go ahead and answer a few
Sure.
in the Q&A.
Yeah, we will take a look at the questions and we will answer them.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And also a couple of students, before we proceed to the next presentation, a couple of students have asked questions regarding the English proficiency scores. You might be exempted to submit these scores if you have studied in an English school for more than 4 to 5 years, or 12 years of your education. But I would recommend all the students to take the test and submit your scores. It can be exempted, but it's always good to have your scores with you because it can strengthen your application when you're applying to Japanese university. So to students who have asked questions regarding English proficiency, please keep this in mind. And let us know if you have any questions. Just post them in the Q&A portal. Thank you very much, Shimazaki-san, for the presentation, and Hattori-san for answering the questions in the Q&A portal. Now we'll proceed with the next presentation. Thank you very much. Please give me a minute. Okay. So now we have Hokkaido University with us, the Graduate School of Engineering. So before we begin with the presentation, I would like to give you a little information about the university itself. So Hokkaido University is a highly acclaimed public university in Japan, situated in the north of Japan, a very popular city, Hokkaido. It is the fifth imperial university and is one of the country's finest higher education institutions. It is a top type university owing to its high education standards in a range of fields, particularly sciences and engineering. So now I'd like to request the representatives of Hokkaido University to give us an insight into the programs offered at Hokkaido.
Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. So let me share my screen, please. Okay, so let me start. So welcome to Hokkaido University's session. So my name is Nori Miyokawa, Deputy Director of the Institute for International Collaboration. Good afternoon to you, everybody in India. Today, we will be introducing our university, focusing on its graduate programs. Our session has three parts, and the first part is mine. And
I'm sorry for interrupting. Please make sure that your video and audio is turned off. Hazarika-san, your video and audio is turned on. Please turn it off. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes, proceed.
Okay, yeah. So let me begin with the three top reasons for choosing Hokkaido University for your graduate study. Firstly, we are proud to be one of the top research universities in the world. We have produced 2 Nobel Prize laureates. Also in the Times Higher Education University Impact Ranking 2022, we were ranked 10th in the world and first in Japan. We are striving to solve global issues such as those related to the Sustainable Development Goals. Secondly, as a comprehensive research university, we have 21 graduate schools, 15 of which allow international students to earn a degree in English. 8 out of these 15 have special programs implemented entirely in English. In a few moments, my colleague, Professor Todo, will talk about one of these 8 special programs, the English Engineering Education Program, or EQ, in particular. Also, our international students have many opportunities to learn Japanese while conducting their research in English. We offer beginner to advanced classes. Further, career support by professional staff is available to help you find a job in Japan after graduation. Thirdly, various financial support is available for international students at Hokkaido University. The 3 past and current students from India who are speaking on our behalf later today have obtained scholarships from the Japanese government, including MEXT, which is the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science, and Technology. In addition to those government as well as our own university's scholarships, we have a tuition exemption program for students with excellent grades. Lastly, it is important to note that our main campus is in the center of Sapporo, the capital city of Japan's northern island of Hokkaido. It is a cosmopolitan city with beautiful nature all around and one of the most comfortable living environments in Japan. Despite being a metropolitan city, living costs such as the rent are relatively inexpensive. Do you want to know more about Hokkaido University? Please visit our official websites and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you on our campus, which is said to be the most beautiful in Japan. Now let's turn to Professor Todo's presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Miyakawa-san. So can I share my screen? Okay, so can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Masahiro Todo. I'm a professor of Graduate School of Engineering and so current convener of English Engineering Education Program. So, okay. So our English Engineering Education Program started in 2000. So we call the program ECUBE. The Graduate School of Engineering of Hokkaido University has 13 majors, all of which accept the ECUBE students. So in 2023, the Global Engineering Leadership Program for Sustainable Development was adopted by the mixed as a special program for priority placement of government-sponsored international students, and it is currently in its first year. The aim of the ECUBE program is to provide a high-quality education, 100 in English, and to attract students from all over the world, thereby fostering engineering personnel who can play an active role in the world in the future. Currently, 172 students from 42 countries are enrolled in ECUBE. And we accept students from various countries in different regions, with more than 50% coming from East Asia and Southeast Asia. So in our Graduate School of Engineering, there are 100 laboratories in 13 divisions of Graduate School of Engineering. So you can choose the laboratories and prospective professors from these laboratories. So one of the features of ECUBE is its entrance examination method, which is described as a one-window approach, meaning that there is only one contact point, and there is no need to go through various contact points. If applicants have met the requirements for English language skills and grades from their undergraduate or master degree, and have passed the document review and online interview, they can enter ECUBE directly without having to come to Japan. In addition, ECUBE offers a matching service where applicants submit the required documents via the ECUBE online system during the matching period, and they are sent to the supervisor of their choice, and they will be informed of the result by email from ECUBE office. If matching is successful, they can proceed to sending the original documents and applying. Applicants have to submit certificates of English language proficiency test. We will accept TOEFL, IBT, IELTS, and TOEIC. There are minimum score requirements. Alternatively, a certificate of degree in English called medium instruction must be submitted, or native speakers are exempt from the English language requirements. In the exit survey for the academic year 2022, so 58 students responded, with 15 students going on a doctorate at Hokkaido University, 16 students going on to work at an academic research institute, and 18 students found jobs in prestigious companies. And the career guidance seminars and the alumni employment support seminars for international students are also held. And Hokkaido University has a career center and a center for advanced human resource education and development, which provide employment support in English. So there are many alumni around the world, over 700 36, and a database of their papers and achievements are available on the website. We also have a Facebook and mailing list to keep in touch with our alumni. The cost depends on the student status. For postgraduate students, tuition fee per year about $3,700. It will be paid in 2 installments. Examination fee is about $200 and the entrance fee is about $2,000. The average of living cost is about $600 a month, and the university accommodation is usually provided for the first 6 months. The mixed scholarship scheme is available to students under 35 years of age with diplomatic relations with Japan who do not live in Japan, have excellent grades, and are fluent in English. The students can receive 986 US dollars in master's degrees or 992 US dollars in doctoral degree per month, and are exempt from the examination fee, entrance fee, and the tuition fee. And Mixed has a Mixed E-Cube and Mixed Embassy. Mixed E-Cube is selected at the E-Cube and is open to students entering in October. Mixed Embassy students who pass the entrance E-Cube entrance examination, they can enroll in April or October. A privately funded student or those on scholarships other than Mixed can enroll in October or April. So you can also enroll as a research student in preparation for the master's degree. Scholarships for privately funded students are also available. Study scholarship, Mixed honors scholarship, about 48,000 Japanese yen per month for 1 year given to a doctoral student. So we also have a system of tuition fee reduction and the tuition waivement system. So there are many types of scholarships offered by various organizations like this. So nearby 57% students are funded by some sort of scholarships. So that's all my presentation. And if you have any questions, so please don't hesitate to contact to this email address of E-Cube office. Okay, so thank you for your kind attention. And let's turn to Mushigeo-san. So can you share a screen?
Sorry, wait, this one. Can you see my screen? Somebody
Yes.
can clarify. Yeah. Thank you, Sensei, for the wonderful talk. Actually, for the students, I'll give you some different perspective and experience from my side. There will be good number of photos. You'll enjoy seeing them. And I'll share my insights over past 2 years of my research here. And also I have interacted with various students. So briefly, I'll summarize quickly. So these are some of the glimpses about my introduction. And previously, I'm from IIT Madras Masters. Now, currently, I'm doing my PhD in engineering in quantum science engineering division in Graduate School of Engineering. So why I choose Hokkaido University? That's a major question, right? Many people you think like maybe my reasons may spark your brain. So let me share. So firstly, the life in Sapporo I have experienced as an intern. If you get a chance to experience, it will be wonderful. And if not, you can get glimpses from here and you can take it as a motivation for sure. The life is awesome here. Like you can see not just academic and also the social life and also the additional experience industrial visit from the E-Cube. We have arranged from E-Cube. And also we have intensive courses. And further, I have traveled and also I have spent with the children and different organizations as a student. We can go across and also we can experience the life in Sapporo. I have seen it before I choose to come for my PhD. These are the social life and why I choose life in Sapporo. These reasons are also a big reason for me. Like many people think like it's a cold and it's a northern part and a small city and all, but it's all kind of maybe the misinformation, I could say. From my experience, it was so good so far. So these are the few glimpses. So let me share. These are some more interactions with the students. I have interacted with high school students until the graduate students in Hokkaido University also. It was a good interactions. You will get all these opportunities as a student if you are here in Hokkaido University. And this one, my research reasons why I'm choosing this lab and particularly the research. So the photo you can see, actually this is the culture of Hokkaido University. Every summer there will be this barbecue, welcoming party or barbecue for new scholars. So I had this experience in 2019 during my internship, and I have got on paper in my internship, and also uh, I have started working in this field before even enrolling in these admissions. And I'm a student of this STSA program, which is a joint program from Japan, Hokkaido University to IIT Madras, Bombay, and Hyderabad. So this program gave me the basic foundation to experience before even starting my research and applying for the EQ Next Scholarship, university funded Next Scholarship. So these are the main reasons I could say. And further, I would like to emphasize a little bit more like the research. Recently, I have been to Europe for a conference presentation, and also the professor here, like even though if you are not having fund for the travel grant for presenting your research, those kind of support system is there from the university. Like the faculty and the school office will support your travel, and you can present your research and you can interact with your peers in the subject in the across the global. I visited in Netherlands, and also I'm going to visit a few more conferences in Japan. So all are being supported with the research budget in the school. That is a very good opportunity for research scholars, especially when we are in the PhD course. And further, I would summarize quickly that the academic side and the social side, you have seen the glimpses, the social life, and additional reasons like I have diverse experiences. All from all these reasons, I would find it's very interesting and very. So far, I'm enjoying what to say. So far, I have acquired a lot of learnings, I could say, and I've been sharing and interacting with you guys in the new students, and I'm happy to share along with the professor now in these talks. So thank you for now, and I'll give it to the next speaker. Thank you for giving the opportunity.
Okay, so thank you for Muruge-san. So next, so Sonia-san, can you share screen?
Hi. Okay, thank you, Muruge-san, and thank you, Todo Sensei. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Sonia Longzam. I completed my PhD in structural engineering from Hokkaido University. And in my presentation, let me unlock the benefit of studying at Hokkaido University. In the content of my presentations are, first is why I choose Hokkaido University as my study abroad destination, then followed by my career path in Hokkaido University, followed by the conclusions. Okay, so there are numerous reasons for Hokkaido University as my study abroad destination, but I have listed here some of my main reasons. First is Hokkaido University has been offering plenty of program classes in English, and it promotes cultural diversities. The university encourages contributions of diverse groups from all over the world. Also, the university has inside the campus, there are abundant of events, programs that strengthen the interactions between international as well as Japanese students. As you have already seen with in my colleague previous presentation by Muruge-san. And then the another reason is the guidance is students of Hokkaido University get under the supervisions of qualified faculties as well as the researcher are really very remarkable. It's from my personal experience. And students can experience a cutting-edge world-class research. Our university provides a stepping stone to great professional opportunities and help overcome challenges with career orientations, seminars, and many more programs. Students in Hokkaido University are able to celebrate tremendous natural beauty of the 4 seasons in Hokkaido. Also, it is well-known fact, and it is very much true, that Japan is very safe and travel-friendly country. Next is about my career path in Hokkaido University. The first step I did is preparation of my research interests and proposal. Once I prepared my research interests as well as a proposal and what research under what specialization I want to work, I went through the engineering ECUBE, that is English Engineering Education Program, through where I learned how the procedures for the admissions to the Hokkaido University has to be done under ECUBE program. So once I learn all the knowledge, I approach prospective supervisor. In my case, I approach prospective supervisor through ECUBE. And then after exchanging multiple email and online meeting discussing on the research topic that I have proposed, everything was done with multiples of email exchanges, as well as there will be lots of online meeting. Parallelly, the applications for the scholarship was also done. After I got approval from concerned professor as my supervisor, along with scholarship opportunities and an ECUBE program, I enrolled in Hokkaido University and started conducting my research, did paper publication, and participated in conference which were funded by JSPS Scholarship and Kazima Foundation Project Fund. In my career, networking and attending conference play a very crucial role in staying connected with the academic as well as the professional community. And well, after coming to Hokkaido University, after about an year, that is after I made myself comfortable with the surrounding culture, people, food, I started participating in our university's career development seminars, extracurriculum activities that opens the door for various career options which were based on my research interests, skills, and aspiration. And after that, in a phase of 3 years, I received my PhD degree in structural engineering from the divisions of architectural and structural design under the EQ program. And throughout this journey, it was and it has been still a journey of achievement and huge personal and professional growth. So after this, I continued my research as a postdoctoral researcher with a JSPS scholarship for young scientists with Hokkaido University as my host institute. And by doing so, this allowed me to further develop research expertise and establish connection in my field, that is structural engineering. And right now, currently, I am a structural engineer giving structural advice and consultant as an independent structural consultant, both in India as well as in Japan. So, it is, in conclusion, I would like to quote or I would like to give express my viewpoint that it is fact that each individual career journey is unique, and their interests and opportunities will vary from one student to another. But the key is to leverage the skill and knowledge that are gained. So yes, in conclusion, I feel proud, and I proudly say that Hokkaido University is one of the leading top university offering a wide range of advantages for students, from scholarship and funding, then from academic excellences, beautiful campus and location, then global environment and internship and industrial collaboration. And there are manifold advantages that I personally have experienced during my Hokkaido University. And till now, I'm still in connection with our Hokkaido University lab senseis as well as the researcher. And in Hokkaido University, you will be able to experience manifold, which I have tried in my presentation to include as much as possible. And so that's all about my experience and throughout till now. And thank you everyone for giving your precious time and listening to my presentation. Thank you. And so I would like to hand over the presentation to Hazarika-san. Hazarika-san?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Mm. Let's wait a moment. I'm sharing my slide. Oh, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
thank you. So thank you for the introduction. My name is Jisla Dikhoy Hazarika, and I studied in Hokkaido University, and I did my master's there, and I'm currently working in Suzuki Motorcycles. Sorry, my voice is little down because I had little cough. Yeah. So who am I? I'm Hazarika. I'm from Assam, like towards the northeastern part of India, and it is known for Assam tea and especially the one-horned rhino. And about me, like I love to travel and interact with new people. That's the reason I came to Japan because Japanese culture is unique. So I want to experience a different side of culture and have and study in a multicultural environment. And for sports, like I like to play table tennis and have won like gold medals like during my bachelor's in IIT Hyderabad. So my education and work experience is I did my bachelor's in IIT Hyderabad, and from there like I came joined Hokkaido University in like mechanical and space engineering. And currently, as I told you, I am working with Suzuki for in-house development of vehicle communication software. While Japan, because initially, like when I was studying in IIT Hyderabad, uh, I got an opportunity to visit Japan to represent India on two different occasions, like international industry academia PBL programs. During that time, like I got to experience Japanese science and technology, its culture, punctuality, and cleanliness, which motivated me that like I should continue my graduate studies and build a career in Japan. For that, I mostly um, uh, worked on my research projects during my bachelor's and checked into the university, different universities in Japan, where would be a perfect fit for my research team and also like the campus life. For that's why, like why I joined Hokkaido University. It's
Hazarika-san, I'm sorry for interrupting you. As we are running out of time, can you conclude the presentation soon?
yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, for main thing is for Hokkaido University, it's because mostly it's one of the top imperial universities. And and here, in the campus, you get to see four different seasons together. Like for in the right picture, as you can see, like spring, summer, fall, winter, and also due to the YouTube program, which has its website in English, and you can conduct research and courses in English, which makes it student friendly, especially for English background people, because as you know, in Japan, usually Japanese is the common language used. And also, in university, you have a very convenient lifestyle because uh, Hokkaido University is the only one which has its location in city center, and everything is within walking or bicycle distance, which is a rare in other universities in Japan. And also many friendly Japanese locals and all. And also Yeah, there is winter like Hokkaido because it is like on the top part of Japan. It is little colder, but it is very like you can have very like high confidence because and also in the Sapporo station like there is a 2 kilometer like underground places like where there are many shopping malls and some very like entertainment options. And yeah, the conclusion is like yeah, the Hokkaido University has helped me to acquire all the potentialities that Japan has, and its academic and research environment has motivated me to challenge myself and work together to achieve difficult goals. So now my future goal should be to work for the development of India and Japan and through my university and industry. And that's my message to juniors and prospective students is that you all have different skills and uh, capabilities. So try to face every difficulty on convert it like opportunity. Join Hokkaido. Thank you.
Thank you so much to all the representatives of Hokkaido University for providing us with such valuable insights into your university. I feel all the information that you've provided would be very interesting to Indian students, especially because many of them are interested in engineering and the fields of science. And I think Hokkaido University provides a perfect platform to pursue higher studies in these fields. So thank you so much, Hokkaido University, for your presentations. And there were a couple of questions in the Q&A portal, but most of them have been answered. But there's one question I would like any of the representatives to answer. Is there any graduate programs in AI, CS, data science at Hokkaido University? Any representative could quickly answer this question.
Actually, I shared the link. Sorry, Sensei, you can answer. Sorry. Go on, go on. Sensei is better to answer. Sorry.
No. So, yeah, actually, so I think so graduate school of engineering and so we have and also graduate school of information science and technology. I think so they have several research topics. So depends on the professors. I think yeah, you can learn so AI or yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for answering the questions. I think many representatives of the university have done a great job in answering the questions. So thank you so much for all your contributions and efforts. And I will reshare the agenda slide. Thank you, Hokkaido University, for the presentation. Reshare the slide. Okay, so we have completed the webinar, but before we end the webinar, I would like to give students important information about Japan's admission. But before that, please take a few minutes to scan the QR codes to register for the upcoming webinars and to get more information about Japan's higher education. And thank you to all the panelists and attendees for participating in today's webinar. And the link has also been shared in the chat box. And kindly check our Instagram pages for more updates on the webinars. And before we end the webinar, I would like to inform all the students. So firstly, for undergraduate students, your application periods have begun for most of the universities. So to get more information about it, you can scan the QR codes and check our Instagram pages. The application period for undergraduate programs have already begun. It starts from September till around January. So please check the websites regularly and make sure that you have all the documents in your hand. For graduate programs, we recommend you to take the GRE test, the GMAT test, IELTS if you can, IELTS or TOEFL, whichever you can. Please please prepare all the documents on time as the application periods are begin. And for students who want to apply for the MEC scholarship, the application for September 2024 enrollment is already over. So if you want to apply for September 2025, if you want to enroll in September 2025, you can apply in April 2024. I believe this is a lot of information to digest, so you can check our recordings, and you can email us at India office, at the University of Tokyo India office email address. as it's mentioned here and the links provided, or you can check our Instagram pages. But please make sure that you're preparing all your documents right now so that you can come to Japan in September 2024. And in case you want to come in September 2025, you still have the opportunity to apply for the next scholarship. So please keep this in mind and proceed accordingly. These QR codes will give a better idea of when you can apply and where you can apply, and the English programs offered. And thank you to all the panelists for joining the webinar. You can contact the admissions office of the universities as well. They have provided links in the chat box, so please have a look at them. And there'll be next webinar is on 23rd September. So please register for the webinar right now and learn more about Japanese universities so that you can come here in 2024. Thank you so much. Please scan the QR code. I'll keep the QR slide for a couple of minutes. Just scan it really quick, and we hope to see you soon in the upcoming webinars. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating in today's webinar, from the panelists to the attendees. We truly appreciate your contributions and support. And thank you to the entire Utopia team.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So thank you, Takushi-san.
Thank you to the son. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mukawa-san. Thank you.